First Lady Divine. Miss Divine, that is.
And also in the studio with us
on your
is...
nose.
No, that's a spittle.
Well, it's all. You look good. Very well.
And who else do we have in the studio with us?
Hello everyone, this is Lucy Lou, Credit Conversations with Lucy, coming to you every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Awesome. Yeah. Lucy Lou from Kill Bill. How was it making that movie?
Well, I don't know about Kill Bill, but let's kill some poverty mindset.
Damn,
That's what I'm
I like
talking
it.
about. And
Okay.
how do we do such?
We are going to retrain our minds.
The renewing of our minds.
Renewing of our minds. Yeah.
Okay.
I talked to somebody once. We were actually discussing we were discussing underprivileged and urban communities. Well, actually, it was a town.
Black
An
folk?
old town. Yes.
Okay.
It was an old town that literally, it used to be a factory. Like, it thrived on factory living. As the factories closed down, then the town was no longer, establishing.
Viable.
And he was like, if I had like $2 million, I'd buy the town and I'd do all this stuff to it. And I shared with him, I was like, that's a great idea. However, the first thing you need to put in is education.
Correct.
Because if they don't know better, they won't do better, no matter how nice you give them or what they do. So with that being the idea, if you gave somebody $1 million, they're already in a deprived credit state. If you gave them $1 million, what's the likelihood that they're actually going to do what's beneficial to them with it without the education?
Not very likely at all. And I'll share this. I see this all the time, as a tax preparer. Every tax season, you're buying a car. Every tax season.
Buying Jordans.
So even on a smaller scale, $5,000, because you've been so deprived those 11 months out the year. When I finally get it, guess what? Hey, North Lake, here I come. South Park, here I come. Club, here I come. And the CIAA in Charlotte. So, that's what I see a lot. People just spending it on the wrong thing. So you won't do right. We see that with this popular show. What is it called? Lottery Ruined My Life. Well, the lottery's supposed to make your life better. But those
You don't know what
people's,
to do with it.
their mindset did not change. So yes, G.U.N.S, if you do not get the renewing of your mind and retraining yourself and get around some people, right? Because the first thing that's going to happen is your family's going to drag you and everybody else. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you have a client. I'm giving you a scenario. You have a client. You've been helping. Try to educate them. Scratch that. You got somebody that comes to you for help. A week later, they win $1 million in the lottery. What would be the first 3 things you tell them to do with that money?
I'm so glad you posed the question that way. What would I tell them?
The top 3 things that they need to do first with that money.
So, First Lady, when you're consulting your client, at least in my arena, you don't want to tell anybody anything. The conversation should always be 80-20. I want you to tell me because I need to get in your mind. If I'm barking orders at you, I don't know anything about you, what your upbringing was like, where you came from, what you think about money. What are your goals? So I'm not going to tell you anything.
They say, I'm about to go buy up the mall. I'm
Right.
about to go get a new car. I'm about to go set up my peoples. I'm about to buy them all new clothes. I'm about to get this hot honey. I'm about to...
Pay me back my money.
Wait.
Somebody else you money?
Several people.
No, take that same
I'm
thing.
giving-
What you've got $1 million. What are the first
Not
3
me.
things? No, we're answering that. But she said, "What would you do?" So
Right.
we all want $1
She
million.
flipped the question.
But
What are the first
but
3
she's still
things
not
you would
answering
do?
the question.
Because
She-
you said it's
'cause she
based on
flipped it.
what you do. So
I'm giving her the further scenario of the situation of the person that she's dealing with. They tell her, I'm about to go do this, this, and this, and this, because I ain't never had this and this. What would be the first 3 things you tell them that they should do with their money so that they don't blow it? So that the
No, I
lottery
don't want her to answer it. I want
Oh.
us to answer. What would we do with $1 million? Then, because if she tells you what the first 3 things are, then we'll change our answers.
I won't.
So if you get $1 million, what would be the first 3 things you do?
If I got $1 million, I would pay off my debt, which is not a lot. So I'd pay off my debt. Debt meaning house. Debt meaning any type of lingering bills or anything.
The other 2 things?
The other 2 things, I would invest. Obviously, real estate is a real revenue generator if done right. So I don't think I would necessarily go into the realtor piece of it. I would go into the investment piece of it, which I'm going to do anyway. I would donate.
Can I jump in? Thank you, First Lady, for saying what you said. This bugs me when people say, I'm going to pay off. A great person told me one time, now again, bringing it back to tax time, this is what I see. People get their tax money, $5,000, $6,000. What's the first thing they do? Pay up their rent. Why are you going to take $3,000 and pay up something that's always going to be there? Take that $3,000 and let's invest first. So let's flip the mindset. You're taking, so when you get a meal, you're not going to get a meal, tax is going to come off that. So now that's reduced down. Now you're going to pay off a house that's $100,000, so now it's reduced down. Let's flip the mindset. Take your money and let's think about investing first before we start paying off all this debt.
Unless you're able to negotiate
Unless you're correct.
a cheaper settlement.
Because
So
you can
if I'm
always
gonna pay up
negotiate.
my rent for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, I'm gonna be taking 20%, 25%, 30% off of that rent bill, which is the same thing as me investing and getting a 30% return on that investment.
Correct,
So
but
if
how
I can
many
reduce it-
landlords are going to do that?
Depends
I don't
upon the
rent, I own.
situation.
I own as
Right,
well, so
but it
that's-
depends upon the situation of the landlord. If the landlord is desperate for money and maybe something broke and he has to replace an HVAC system and doesn't have the money and he was gonna go get a loan to do that, but yet you're willing to come to the table and pay 6 months rent in advance in order to get a 30% discount off of that rent, he would probably take that offer.
Now, here's my question to the both of you. Since you dealt with this stuff before in real estate, let's just say someone owes $100,000 left on their house, valued at $175, close to $200. Would the bank take a lesser payoff amount than the $100,000 left owed on the property?
Potentially. It's what is called a short sale. A lender does have the right, based upon the terms of the lending agreement, to accept less money than what is owed. They have to agree to it, of
If
course.
you're paying a lump sum.
Right, if you're paying a lump sum. Especially if it is, I had an experience just recently, last month, where a lender accepted $50,000 less than what was actually owed on that debt in order to get a lump sum now, as opposed to payments over the next 15 years.
Same thing people do when they win the lottery. Do you want payments for the rest of your life, or do you want one lump sum? A lot of people go for the one lump sum.
Depending upon their level of education. Now, if you don't have the level of education, what to do with the money in order to make the money work for you as opposed to you working for the money and getting return on the investment, then for you probably want the monthly payout for the rest of your life because you end up blowing it. And a
think
year
that's a
from now,
setup.
you're going to be broke.
Well, I think that's sort of a setup.
It's only a setup for those people who don't understand financial literacy.
And that's
there
where
are
you
people
come to-
out there that just won't understand.
And that's-
They're dumb.
And that's where
They're not going to learn, and no matter what it is that you share with them, they're not going to understand. So for those people, you have to staff your weaknesses. Just like you can tell a person, hey, save money. But a lot of people don't have the discipline to get the paycheck, deposit it, and then take X amount of dollars and put it into their 401k. So what should they do? Have it taken out of your paycheck prior to you getting your paycheck. It's called a forced savings. It automatically goes into the 401k so that you don't have to see it, because if you see it, you're going to spend it, which is a problem that most people have. They have no discipline, so you have to set up systems where things are automatically done for you so that you can get the result and the benefit thereof. Just like when people,
but that's
if
so
you use your
nice.
debit card, and the banks will say, well, hey, we'll round it up and take the difference and put it into the savings account. Things of that nature. So payroll deduction is great. Having monies automatically rolling from an account to a savings account is wonderful. So you have to put systems in place in order for people to staff their weaknesses so that they can become successful.
Are you okay?
I'm wonderful.
Okay.
I just have to get
Listen,
this
I was
information
like,
to
who
people
said
because people don't understand. And I've dealt with this all too long, 20 plus years of individuals who throw away money
I understand your passion, but like you so
eloquently.
or
Eloquent.
eloquently said
Hmm.
in an earlier segment, the poor.
Will always be among us. And people will typically earn over $1 million in their lifetime. And at
Have
the
nothing
end
to
of
show
30
for it.
years, 40 years, they got nothing to show for it. Over $1 million,
There's nothing
but
you can do
broke.
about that but share your knowledge and keep your blood pressure down. 'Cause I see that.
And this
No.
is where, you know, Dr. Bizness, you had made some great points. However, I come on the other end of the one that's sitting
That
back.
wants to learn,
I want to.
that wants to grasp the information, that wants the knowledge and apply the knowledge.
And one more thing. I want to come at it with a softer approach because people, and you've been doing this a lot longer than I have, so I respect everything you're saying. But people want to know that you're not judging them and looking down on them and
Beating
you're
them
not
up
beating
for
them
what
up.
they did.
Because, you know, I saw a mother with a high school education who was constantly beat up. You know, not physically, but beat up economically, beat up socially. You know, so I just remember seeing how people talk to her, and I always said I won't talk to people that way because you only know what you know.
Right.
So I'm not going to beat you up. When a client comes to me, I make it a safe space. Let's talk about what's going on. What does payday look like for you?
That's good.
And many of my clients who are millennials, some of them in their 40s even, they're like, budget, what is that? No, I just get my check and I pay what I think. I pay what I think. So I need to get in your mind to show you. So we're going over your budget. That's the first thing we do. I have a template and I need you to see what you've got going out every month versus what you've got to make it real to you. Then I say, client, does it feel like you're running out of money at the end of the month? Yeah, it does. Okay, so we need you to start coming to work. We need you to stop calling out. Get some overtime. You know, so I really need to get into your mindset because if I don't get into your mindset and change it, you're going to just have bad credit again in a year.
Right.
And a lot of my clients come to me from Lexington Law, from JoJo's Credit Repair Shack, or wherever you came, you know.
Right.
So you've spent double the money.
Oh, you gotta pay those? How those people get paid when, like the credit repair folk?
Now, it's different. You can do monthly payments, or you can do it all at one lump sum. But because some people just don't have the fee up front, I will do a monthly payment because I'm here to help you. You know, the money isn't my main concern. I want to help you, and I want you to understand that your Father has given you everything you need.
Right.
Stop being mad at God because you're broke. You put yourself
Or
in
your
this
baby
position.
daddy who ain't paying child support.
He told you not to lay with him in the first place.
Damn.
So I'm giving you some word with my credit repair. I'm showing you, okay, yes, your Father loves you. He's giving you the resources. Now let's be a good steward over what we have.
And that is the key, and that's what most people don't understand because they live beyond their means. They want the mansion and a yacht on a broke man's budget.
They want
And it
champagne
doesn't
dreams
work.
on a beer budget.
Exactly. It just
Say it
doesn't work
again.
that way.
Champagne dreams
on a beer budget. You want to be big baller, shot
You
caller,
need to put that on a
but can't
t-shirt.
back it up.
Yeah.
It
You got the
already
t-shirt,
on
man.
there.
Contact.
And we need to, and when I say we, us that are older, we need to really teach this to the younger people. You know, where I work, and I won't be working there much longer, but I work for a financial institution. And in this setting, it's the call center setting, so I'm a lead. So luckily, I'm blessed with the influence. And a lot of those people are young, so they'll get that $15, $16 an hour, but they'll still be, hey, Miss Lucy, can you print out my 401k withdrawal form? Okay, why are we borrowing from our 401k?
Right. At this early age.
At this early
What are
age.
you trying to get and what's the
But it was
risk?
because you called out all last week because CIAA was here. So then you turned around and spent a lot of money
that you didn't even have.
you didn't have. Then you missed out of 40 hours for the week. So now you got to go dip in this.
Yep. To pay
Right,
your
that's
rent.
not what it's for.
I got a question. this is an off the wall question. Let's just say you have a client that comes to you and say, I had $100,000 in my 401k and I have withdrawn it all and blew it all. How do I fix that?
Start over.
You're gonna have to start over, client. You know, I have to be very, and this is my conversation with my client. I have to be very honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on your age, you're not going to be able to recoup that $100,000. So I want to be honest with you. So now let's look at how we can invest in other things.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your credit score? Oh, you're already at 680? Okay, great. Now let's look into some real estate options
Mm-hmm.
to have other streams so we can make up for what you lost. If you are diligent about it, you can recoup.
It's never a loss. It's always a gain if mentally you have the mindset, the wherewithal, and the knowledge. Because once a person has attained a certain level, it's like a rubber band. Once you stretch a rubber band, it never goes back to its original form. So once you expand a person's mind, it never goes back to its original form. And if a person had the mindset to be able to save $100,000 at some point in time, then guess what? If you did it before, you can do it again. You may have to use different strategies. You may have to be a little bit more aggressive in your risk tolerance levels to be able to gain it back. You may have to shift and invest monies in different areas. It may not be a 401k, but it may be in real estate. But there's a mindset that is already in place to be able to get back what the enemy has stolen. Once that mindset is there, you can achieve it again. It's just a matter of coming up with a strategy to be able to do it.
This is correct.
I think one thing that I've noticed with people that I've spoken with, or testimonies or traumas that I hear when it comes to financial states of being, is one, they're not. You said change the people that you're around. Because they're in an impoverished state, they're not always welcomed or invited in the arenas of where they need to be. And then just the idea that I'm so deep in it, that my mama was in it, my mama's mom was in it, my daddy, his daddy, we've all been in debt. They don't even, it's just like, why even try? Because it's a generational curse. One of the things, my niece is about to graduate. It's her senior year. And everybody, she was like, I want to go to Paris for my senior trip. And, my sister's looking at the things to do your last year of school. And my siblings and my nieces know I don't buy gifts, I make memories. So my gift to her was I gave her a financial advisor for the next year. So where she was working and going to school, and every time she got a check, she was at Forever 21, and she got her license, and now she was looking at cars. I am so grateful that one dinner meeting and that connection where she got to actually express what she wanted, what she liked, ask questions, get answers to the questions. There, she has her very own personal advisor now. And I asked my mom, I was like, how are things looking, or her mom, and she was like, she stopped looking at cars. Like, she's actually saving. So it's different when the people within our families, they can say it a million times and they won't listen. But me investing in a financial advisor for her put her in a better state of being, where, because all these scholarships are going to come. All these, you senior, you 18, you get credit card offers left and right. But if no one teaches her, because they didn't teach me or my siblings, if no one teaches her, she'll end up in the same rut, Because we see it as a 15, 16-year-old shopping. I got my own money. I'm going to the movies. I'm going whatever. So developing that early enough. So it has to be our responsibility as the family members and the responsible adults to, one, get them in the arenas where they typically would not just be welcomed and invited, whether it's workshops or financial seminars and different things like that, work expos where you actually go and talk to CEOs and other people, so that they learn from a young age up.
Absolutely, and G.U.N.S, one thing I do want to say on that note, talking to CEOs, I'm actually working on something right now. There's a new facility that just came to our city, the Amazon plant. I'm working on let me come out there and hold financial literacy conversations with their employees, because if your employees, and I just hear this again, being in leadership at this bank I work for, employees are struggling right now. Is it the employer's fault? Maybe not. Yes, some of them are not keeping up with inflation, especially if you're renting in Charlotte. 10, 12, even $15 an hour is not going to cut it. You need something else. So happy employees are going to be more productive employees, and a lot of their stress is coming from the money. So if I can teach your employees how to better manage their money, they're going to, and then you invested in them with this, bringing this lady out here to talk to me, and now I got my money right, got my credit right, I'm going to come to work happy and productive. So I agree, we do need that in the workplace as well.
Unfortunately, though, if they take the advice, adhere to it, it works out well. But what I've experienced is that the more money you pay somebody, the more money they spend. You give somebody a raise, they're out getting a bigger car. You give somebody a raise, they're now going into debt because now I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna buy that, and now they got the name brand Gucci bags and the Pradas and all this other stuff. So they're increasing their outgo based upon the commercialization, and they're really not saving that money. So at the end of the day, they're still unhappy. So yeah, it doesn't matter how much money you make, and that's what people have to understand. It's how much money you keep. It's how much money you keep. You have to live on 70% of your income. And if people don't understand that, you will be broke forever. 70% of your income is what it is that you need to live on. And if you can't do that,
What if you live on 50%?
then that's even the better. That's a wonderful
How much
thing.
do you live on?
70%.
Really?
I practice what I preach. That's why I got money.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm not yelling at you. I'm passionate about this thing called money. It's talked about the most in the Bible because people don't understand it. So when people talk to me about it, I'm talking to you in a passionate way because I don't want you to be broke. That's my greatest gift to you. Don't be broke because I'm not broke. And I don't want you to be broke. So if you take the advice and the counsel of the individuals that are sharing with you, then you'll get out of your own way and you'll have an inheritance for your children's children. And that's what it is that God wants us to have.
Hashabara.
That's right.
Pastor, how can people get in touch with you?
They don't need to get in contact with me. They need to get in contact with Lucy Lou.
Cause they ain't gonna want, they ain't
They
gonna
gonna
want
want
they
it.
don't.
They gonna
for
be
me.
ready to come
They ain't
in.
gonna be They ain't
I'm
ready
not
for
trying to
me.
leave. I'm not gonna let him get.
Mhm.
Look, if he give his
Lucy
number
Lou.
out, it's gonna say. I'm gonna beat the whole number out.
Lucy
I don't
Lou.
think anybody.
How can they get in contact with you?
You can get in contact
Oh,
with me.
God.
Email kaiserfinancial@gmail.com, or my preference is for you to call me directly. Yes, people say I'm crazy because I give out my cell phone number, but I'm crazy. And I am passionate, much like Dr. Bizness. I'm just a little
Just
soft.
in a more a softer, nurturing
Yes.
type of manner where you can receive it well.
Yes, so please call me if you want to have a conversation about getting your credit together. If you want to stop making those same horrible decisions. 704-712-5462. Please don't call me after 9, but I
That's a booty
welcome
call.
it.
Disclosure.
Yeah.
Full
After
disclosure.
9 p.m. them booty calls.
Not unless you look like Idris Elba.
Oh wow.
Is that
I don't know
your
about
flavor?
that, but no, I like mine a little like Dr. Bizness.
Ooh.
Wow.
Shabbat. Shots fired.
Yes,
No,
my preference.
the preference.
Yeah.
So you would be more on the lines of a not a Shaman Moore, but a
The Rock.
Bruno Mars.
not
Y'all going 2
Yeah.
2.
Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay.
But I haven't had a date in a long time, so at this
What's
point
a
I'm
long
not
time?
discriminating.
Hold up. What's a long time?
Let's say
2 weeks.
about a year and a half.
Me too.
Really?
Yo.
Exactly.
I don't want to touch and agree on that.
I agree because that means you're disciplined. You're not just settling for anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So touch and agree,
Okay.
sis. All right.
settle.
It's all about perception.
You know, and when you come to me, have your stuff together. I mean, I'm not looking for Mr. Perfect, but come on now.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the credit information.
No.
Oh,
She shifted to
Yeah.
Now, when you say
Well,
have
well,
it together, what point?
Because you're in this financial credit stuff or whatever, right? It's good to get a raggedy man that got a 200 credit
Whoa.
score and don't have a job, and then you can build a bear
No, we
and
can't
turn him
build no
into the
At
financial.
40, I don't want to build no bear. No.
So
Not judging anybody, but
So when you say have itself together, what are and real quick, what are the top 5 requirements that a guy has to have when he comes at you?
number 1, you must know the Lord Jesus Christ.
All
I've
right.
been tracking a lot of atheists. Yeah, I don't
What
know.
are you putting out, sis?
I think there's a God in me they're attracted to. That's what I
It's
really
true.
think.
It's true, because they're seeking.
You
There's a
what about
God-shaped
that
void.
whole
It's a
laws of
God-shaped void.
attractions then? What is that all about?
That's in other areas.
Now I don't attract broke men. That's what I don't attract.
Okay.
Now they have their money up, they have their credit together, but they don't know Jesus, and I'm like,
Okay, so that's number one.
Yeah.
I know Jesus. Number two.
Number two, I definitely want a man that is
All his teeth.
yeah, all your teeth is great. Even if you had to buy them, that's okay.
That's your
you
number
know.
two then?
No,
No.
that's not.
What's your number two?
I like a bit of an alpha male.
Yes.
Somebody who can lead because I'm a leader, and if we're gonna do things for the kingdom together, you have to be able to lead.
He just put his plug.
Dr. Bizness is too hard for me. You're spending all this money. You're running around.
How much y'all
He the same wig. You don't
Yeah, you don't need a new
You don't
wig.
get a new wig. Wait 2 years.
But in the bedroom, you appreciate it. You appreciate it then. Be like, hit me again, daddy.
Okay, back to your number three.
We can buy a new headboard.
But
That's an investment.
Bang,
That's an
bang, bang.
investment.
calm down, Jesus.
Money and
You have
sex.
no
Okay.
Number three.
Number three, I would like a man who is funny. You know, who
Okay.
can make me laugh.
Okay.
You know, that's
Number four.
number four. You know, love and protect. Love and protect my children.
Number five.
Number five. Please be financially disciplined. I mean, you don't have to be cheap, you know, but just be
Frugal.
yeah, be a little frugal.
Steward.
You know, don't be a spendthrift, just out here just spending money carelessly. That's what I don't want.
Okay.
Because
But you know how to teach him otherwise, though.
yeah,
You
I
strengthen
have.
your weaknesses. Isn't that
Right.
something you said?
Staff your weaknesses.
Staff your weaknesses.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So yeah, we can build each other up. Nobody has to have it all together because I don't have it all together. You know, so those are my top.
On that note, how can people get in touch with you
Again.
for a date?
Oh.
Give the number out. Go ahead. Give the number out. Go ahead. Uh-huh.
This is credit conversations with Lucy, not love conversations with Lucy.
They won't love on credit.
Yeah.
I like to make a with.
But
Yeah.
for credit repair and financial advice and assistance and coaching, how can they get in touch with you?
Yes, again, reach out to me, 704-712-5462. Give me a call or give me a text. We're going to get it together. We're walking into 2020, the year of perfect vision. What's your vision?
Okay.
You.
Go ahead.
Family, you're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media.
The voice of the community.
Good.
How long was that? I know we went way over. How much was
That was about 27, like
it? Okay,
28 minutes.
just write it down. You're so good, but you get too passionate. We just be wondering